God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the January 24th, 2019 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently have the honor of serving as chair of the commission and representing District 3 alongside Commissioner Bill Rippon, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everybody. Morning. First item of business, please.
First item 2, unfinished business. Number 1, consider approval of Home Rule Resolution HR 2019-1, amending Shawnee County Code Section 4-81 and 4-82 regarding selling, serving, possessing, or consuming alcoholic liquor or cereal malt beverage beverages on county property.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. If you'll recall, right before Christmas, late December, we had the first reading for some changes to our alcohol resolution. That's required by law to have 2 readings. Since in that meantime, there was some public comment about asking us to make sure that we were looking at all of the important factors that go along with it, control, some of those type of things. In the meantime, since that time, staff has met with the county councilor, and we think we've got some really good changes here for you. They're very minor, but it does provide some control. There it is, I'm sorry. The change that has been recommended by everyone here is they're in red. Any Parks and Recs buildings, all of the stuff in black is already in the Shawnee County's county code, but the red is the change. Any Parks and Rec building or facility hosting an authorized special or regular event with written permission from the Parks and Recreation Director and a resolution approved by the Board of County Commissioners allowing patrons of the event to consume alcoholic liquor and cereal malt beverages at our facility. This change, basically to make sure everybody understands this, does not immediately authorize the sale at any of our softball parks. It does authorize a process whereby I and my staff will sit down with event operators, possibly private contractors, to authorize the sale and negotiate those sales. During that time, we'll visit with them about revenue sharing, following the rules of the state of Kansas and federal government in those type of events. Then I'll bring that approved agreement to you guys for final approval. I will say that it is our intention to issue RFP or RFPs for the sale of this. I think that's important that we use some of the potential revenues to offset the cost to taxpayers. The other thing that I'd like to make sure that everybody understands is that I have had, there were several concerns raised about issues that may arise. I think our softball community may have been stuck with a tag that was not deserving of them. We've had thousands and thousands of softball games over the course of a summer and over the course of the years, and we've had very, very, very few, if none, alcohol-related events. I want to make sure that everybody knows that the vast majority of the people already follow the rules and are responsible and plan there, and we thank all of our constituents that are there. I will say that the staff that worked on this are here. The ones that worked on this modification with the counselor's office are all here if you have any detailed questions.
Are there questions or comments for Mr. Knight or for the county counselor? Commissioner Cook.
John, this modifies the resolution to really become a case-by-case basis for any sort of alcoholic events on Shawnee County property.
It's case-by-case, but it's also potential that an RFP, they may take several events through a single RFP. But yes, all of them will come here to you. The other things that we intend to do is to do a better job of putting up signage so that people understand where it's legal and where it's not. I think we've addressed the vast majority of any concerns that anybody's had.
But the ultimate authority will rest in the county commission.
It will.
Okay.
You currently,
Commissioner Rippon?
this thing. Do you currently have the ability to allow alcoholic sale now at different events?
The first 10, we already have that ability.
Okay.
And it's a similar process. I come to you guys. This is very similar to what we do at the golf courses already, and also and I believe it's similar to what they do at the Kansas Expo Center, and I don't believe they have any issues. We have allowed this at some of our rental facilities as part of the rentals, but the Jerry Robertson Sports Complex is very similar to this in that we need an agreement for, or we've always required an agreement for sale there.
Other questions or comments? What's the pleasure of the commission?
Yep. Mr. Chairman, I think
Yes.
there's public comment.
Yes.
Thank you, governing body. My name's Joseph Ledbetter. I'm a member of the Parks and Rec Advisory. I'm not speaking on their behalf. These are my comments, but I have talked to a number of members of Parks and Rec as well as members of public. As you remember, well, one of you wasn't here, when this was brought before us last time, there was some pretty dramatic changes that were going to be authored. I agree with this. I think there's been a lot more vetting since we were last here. I've had a couple discussions with the Parks Director. He's been open to my ideas as well as the ideas of others, as has County Councilor. The only thing I see that's left out, and it's up to you if you want to amend it, I would love to see youth defined as under 21 years of age. I think that the term youth can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. A lot of people think of that as 18 and under, but alcohol in Kansas can only be sold to people under 21. I mean, over 21, excuse me, over 21. That was the only additional thing that I saw that might be further defined so the public has no question about that in the future. At no point have I ever said that we have out-of-control softball games in our county. But what I have said is that you don't want that unregulated in the bleachers and the parking lots. And the people I've talked to, a lot of them agreed with me. Yeah, that was potentially a little too broad and a little too open. Anyway, we've worked on this. I appreciate John's willingness to work on it and get it much better defined, and you, the county commissioners, will ultimately have the say-so over these new events, and I really like that because that puts a lot of control back on John and then ultimately the county commissioners. So, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? I see Randy is chomping at the bit back there. No.
Good morning, County Commissioners. My name is Mike Bell, and I'm the Vice President of Visit Topeka. I'm part of the Greater Topeka Partnership, and we've worked diligently with Parks and Rec to look at national tournaments, and spoke to this in the past, but I think that this narrowing of scope does help, and I think overall will be beneficial for the attraction of these events, and then providing those patrons with a great amenity when they're in our city. So I would just speak in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else for comment?
Mr. Chairman, I'll
Yes.
make a motion to adopt the resolution as amended.
I'll second that. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. That motion carries 3-0. Thank you, John, Randy, and all the team, County Councilor, for working on this.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
There were 8 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments?
Make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as prepared.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay. Under building maintenance, TD Wilson Painting, Inc., $20,748 for painting at Manor Conference Center. Sunflower Paving, Inc., $14,809.20 for concrete work at Hillcrest Park. Under District Attorney, Office of the Attorney General, $100,000 is for 2019 appellate services. Under Detention Facilities, Johnson Controls, Inc., $13,560 is for the 2019 service agreement for HVAC control maintenance. Under Equipment Fund, Summit Truck Group, $128,172 is for Public Works dump truck, paid from the 2018 capital outlay. Under Special Law Enforcement Fund, Lexipol LLC, $20,317 is for the 2019 subscription renewal. Underpath Troth, Kelly Construction, Inc., $53,325 is for the East Topeka Learning Center. That's it.
For the record, I will note that the total amount of vouchers is $2,535,779.50, and that's standard, Commissioner.
Okay.
Was that a motion to approve the vouchers?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Thank you. Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move to approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to approve, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A3, the next, let's see, the next 7 items will be economic development renewal, so I will, I will go on, I will say them individually, but I just so you know that that's why I have so many on my item. Okay. That's that time of year. Item A3, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 8 for Bimbo, Bimbo Bakeries USA, Inc. And as I said, this is their 8th year, and everything, they met the requirements. They had to they retained 58 full-time positions. This was reviewed by the county councilor, and they agreed that they met the criteria, so. I don't know if we did notify everybody, all of these individuals, if they care to come in and at any point, so.
I will turn to the parliamentarian. Can we approve these as a group?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
If she would go ahead and introduce them as a group.
These are economic incentives, and all of these participants have met the employment goals that were necessary to maintain those. So
Yes.
Anyway,
And then, when we want to get done, if there's any representatives here,
Right.
they would have the option to.
Exactly.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Number 4.
Item A4, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 5 for Mars Chocolate North America LLC. A5, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 8 for Hills Pet Nutrition. A6, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 9 for Frito-Lay, Inc. A7, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 10 for Frito-Lay, Inc. A8, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 9 for U.S. Foods. And A9, consider approval of renewal of tax exemption incentive for economic development for year 5 for Crossed Winds Pet Food, Inc.
Would anyone like to comment on the tax incentives that we've approved for economic development in Shawnee County?
Molly Howie, Senior Vice President of Economic Development for Go Topeka. And I just want to stand in support, obviously, of this crucial tool that we have for our county to continue to develop companies and continue to entice their expansions here in Shawnee County. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions for Molly? All right, thank you, Molly. Any other public comments on these? Then I'll make a motion to approve items A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, and A9.
At A3.
NA3.
And A3. Did I?
That's okay. It
Okay.
was.
All right. And A3. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will second, but also noting that we have different incentives that are reaching the end of their term, and when they reach the end of their term, that they'll be coming on the tax rolls. Frito-Lay has one that will be coming on the tax rolls next year, and that is part of the process.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook. Was that a second?
That is a second.
Okay. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Molly, thank you for being here this morning. Next item, please.
Item B, Expo Center, number 1, consider approval of request to waive the county purchasing policy in order to fund an emergency repair of a boiler pump that failed on 12/29/18 at a cost of $12,898.98, payable to McElroy's with funding from the Kansas Expo Center capital outlay account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Spectrum Venue Management, the Kansas Expo Center. As noted in the memo that was sent out to you last week, this is a request to waive the county purchasing policy in order to fund the replacement and repair of a boiler pump that failed on December 29th. This project was voted on by our Kansas Expo Center Advisory Board, and those funds have been earmarked out of our capital outlay budget. I'm happy to answer any questions on this project that you might have.
Questions or comments for Kellen?
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I will just clarify that this is to not only approve the waiving of the policy, but also to purchase or to pay for this expenditure.
Okay. Thank you, Betty. Questions or comments for Kellen?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Might note that this was a brief through the through the Expo Center Advisory Board, and it met with approval from the board.
Good.
I'll move to approve the request.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, and that was seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Kellen.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item C, Health Department, number 1, consider approval of request to advertise and fill a child care licensing team leader position at a salary including benefits of $62,350, and to fill any position that becomes vacant as a result of filling this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carrie Delphs with the Health Department. Due to the retirement of our current child care licensing team leader, I'm asking for your approval to post and fill this position. This team leader is responsible for staff development and training, investigating complaints of child care facilities, providing orientation to new providers. They also provide direct supervision to 3 child care licensing surveyors. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
How is this position funded?
It's funded partially through our grant from KDHE and then also through tax allocation.
Okay. And this is a replacement. This is not a new position.
Right, and this is included in our 2019 budget.
Good, thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner Cook?
This is a pretty critical position when it comes to child safety in Shawnee County with the licensing of the daycares.
It is, absolutely.
And so they also report or investigate any abuse or issues in daycares or alleged abuse in daycares?
Yes, in conjunction with our state partners.
Okay. Commissioner Archer, I would
Yes.
make a motion to advertise and fill the child care licensing position, but also telling Becky thank you for your years of service and hope she is able to enjoy retirement.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item C2, consider authorization and execution of contract C52-2019 with the Wichita Technical Institute to allow students in the billing, coding, and medical assistance program to participate in activities at the Health Department as part of their field and clinical learning experience with no cost to the county.
Carrie Delphs again with the Health Department. We're asking for your approval of this contract to allow WTI students to come perform their externships with the health department. This gives them some hands-on experience in a professional health office, and there is no cost to the county. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
It's a good partnership, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. When did it start? Tell us a little bit more about it.
We actually haven't had WTI students for the last couple of years. We had an agreement, I believe, when we still had the community health center, but we haven't for the last, I think, probably 2 years. We haven't had any WTI students in the local health department. So this will allow them to come back in, see clinic operations, and then also kind of behind the scenes with our billing and coding.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you so much. Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request for funding in an amount of $45,000 for Keep America Beautiful with funding from the Solid Waste Operating Budget accounts. No tax dollars are used.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Neos, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. This is for our annual yearly funding for Keep America Beautiful. It doesn't totally fund their whole program, but a good part of it for the year. They support many of the activities of our solid waste department. If you'll note on your package that KAB is reporting a total benefit to the community for basically half of 2017 and 2018 of $14.5 million. And then I've included a list of many of the programs and partnerships they're involved in and kind of a calendar of upcoming events. And I provided that just to show you the benefits that they provide for that $45,000. And if you have any detailed questions, Felicia McGee with KAB is here to answer any questions that you might have that I can't answer.
Felicia, come up. This is an opportunity to spotlight, and we always take advantage of those opportunities.
Thank you very much.
They still made these.
Good morning, Felicia McKee, Keep America Beautiful, Topeka, Shawnee County. Thank you for having me up today. I'd love to talk about our program. One of the programs that we recently introduced as part of a grant from Duracell and National Keep America Beautiful is a battery exchange program. We have, let's see, how many? 100,000, let's see, I can't remember the number right now, Duracell batteries donated. That was 18,000, that's what it was, and value of about $110,000. And these, we use these to encourage people to recycle their batteries. So as they go up to the hazardous waste facility, then they're awarded free batteries for their smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. And also, I found out that my garage door takes that type of battery as well. And I wanted to make you aware of that program if you hadn't heard about it already. And I also gave you a packet with our end-of-year budget. And as you know, the city discontinued our funding last year, and we were very, very conservative this past year and ended up doing pretty well, not quite at budget, but a little bit under.
Yeah. Yeah, we're well aware of the city's cuts in funding for social services, believe me. Thank you. Any questions for?
I think you guys do a wonderful service for the community,
Thank
Shawnee
you.
County. I was involved with Keep America Beautiful for a number of years, and for the dollars that we spend on Keep America Beautiful, we get a tremendous amount back. And so this is well worth the expenditure.
Very good.
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
I might note that these are not coming from tax dollars, these are coming from the solid waste dollars, so it's not coming from your general fund. So the solid waste users are actually helping fund keeping America beautiful as an enterprise fund.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kurt.
I think I heard a motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Felicia, thank you for being here today. Next item, please.
Item D2, consider approval of request to award the bid for the replacement of the Southwest 37th Street Bridge over tributary to Shunga Creek project to Brian Ohlmeyer Construction Company, Inc., at a cost of $299,435.49, with funding from the Special Bridge Account and authorization and execution of contract C-53-2019 for same.
Good morning again. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. On January 9th, we received 3 bids for the project on Southwest 37th Street over a tributary to Shunga Creek. The low bid with Ohlmeyer was approximately $75,000 lower than the engineer's estimate, and I'm here before you asking that you approve that bid. The project budget, I'll get into the project itself in a little bit. The project budget was approved by the Commission on September 17th of 2018. The project funding comes from 2 sources. $100,000 of that comes from our special bridge fund, and the special bridge fund gets its revenues from previous budget years, unused funds residuals that we turn into this special bridge fund, special road fund, and special machinery fund. So $100,000 from that fund is coming to this project, and the remaining amount is coming from a transfer from the 2017 to 2032 countywide half-cent sales tax. So that takes care of funding. The project is located between Indian Hills Road and Auburn Road. It's a simple bridge replacement. The existing bridge is a single-span steel superstructure. It's going to be replaced with a concrete 3-cell concrete box. The project is located just west of Indian Hills Road. There will be a complete road closure. So those residences west of the project will need to find an alternate route into town. There will be no signed detour, but the community that lives in that area, they know where to go and they can find their own way, so we don't anticipate any potential problems. All residences and businesses will be accessible during construction, including the Roundup Club. So, back to the bid. We're asking that you approve this bid of a little less than $300,000. Work will start Monday, February 18th, and will complete by May 24th of this year. Any questions?
Commissioner Archer?
Yes, Commissioner Cook.
Our policy in the past has been to send out notices to those residences that would be affected by this closure. Are we anticipating sending out a notice to all the residents in that area in a couple weeks in advance?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yes.
I think that's always best to have, again, that public comment out. I think it's great that the newspaper and the media is here. It might be good just to have a follow-up with them right before the closure as well. I know that Eric would be more than happy to come out and take a picture of the road as it gets closed, and so. But just more notice that we can get out so that people aren't surprised as they make their way into Topeka.
Very good.
So.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I move that we approve the bid.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Rippon. That was seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D3, consider approval of request to issue a request for proposal for the purpose of entering into a contract to begin March 13th, 2019 and end March 31st, 2022 with a vendor to dispose of or recycle the various household hazardous waste waste collected at the facility located at 131 Northeast 46th.
Kearney House, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste. The existing contract is about to expire here in mid-March, and we would like to get another contractor on board as soon as possible so that we have seamless operation. Again, this entity would either dispose of or recycle the hazardous waste that we collect out at the facility on Northeast 46th Street. And I suppose that includes batteries. Is that correct, Justin?
Yes, that's correct.
And you have some batteries before you. So if you have any questions, Justin is here to answer any specific questions that you have, or
Are there any questions regarding?
No. Just to recap, this is a contract that is expiring, and we're going out for bid.
Correct.
For proposals RFP, just to replace that contract.
Exactly right.
Okay.
I move that we approve this request.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Justin. Next item, please.
Item E, corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-54-2019 with the Social Security Administration to facilitate an expedited process for obtaining new or replacement Social Security cards for inmates in the Inmate Trustee Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just a renewal of a contract that allows us to work with the Social Security Administration to obtain or renew Social Security cards for those offenders who do work within our trustee program. Unfortunately, there are those that have not ever had a Social Security card and were unable to go through the process of payroll without it. So this is just a process for us to expedite it. I do want to apologize because this is a contract that has expired at the end of the year. We did send the Social Security Administration the contract back in October, and we were just now getting it back. So, there is no money exchange. This is a very good working relationship and allows us to continue our business at the jail. So I stand for any questions you may have.
Questions for Brian?
I don't have any. I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-55-2019 with Haley Counseling Service for the Family Peace Initiative Program for the Juvenile Detention Center for juveniles who engage in violent and aggressive and assaultive behavior at a cost of $14,910 with funding from the Inmate Wellness Account.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is a contract of a new program that we would like to enter into at the Shawnee County Department of Corrections Juvenile Detention Center. One of the things that has been mentioned more than once, and we do meet the standard, but part of our standard with the National Commission on Correctional Health Care and American Correctional Association is to have a process in place to identify both inmates who are vulnerable for victimization, but also who are risk for violence. And not only do you have to have a process in place to identify, which we do, is being able to provide enhanced programs to be able to help them through these difficult times or to help them with their situation. I know Steve, working with him many years ago with the Domestic Violence Task Force and things like that. This is a very good program I've looked at. I've seen other similar programs in other facilities. And this is well worth the expense. One of the things that I did feel that was responsible, that this is an inmate program for juveniles as well, and it should come out of their wellness account, that this is not taxpayer money, but this is money that is generated from the inmate account, and the inmates are paying basically for their own program. Again, we are very confident this is going to be a very successful program. We will keep statistics and we will keep information to be able to show the investment and the rate of success of this program and to be able to look at it for future years. So I'd be happy to stand for any questions you may have.
This is just a one-year commitment.
Sir. It's a one-year commitment.
And that was my question, is the program itself sounds really good. But how will we measure success of the
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to look at it. First of all, we're going to look at what our accreditation entities have asked us to do is, number one, are you identifying those that are coming in? So we're going to identify how many of those inmates are coming in that do meet the high-risk factors for violence, number one. Number two, we're going to look at those specific inmates on any internal disciplinary matters of fights, of insolence towards staff, things like this. We're going to look to see how many people enter the program, how many juveniles who do successfully complete the program. But one of the things we're also going to look at is they're still in the jail, how we measure their success while they're in the facility, or we're going to try to work with probation, parole, court services, whoever, ISP, to be able to see if this is really following up. And I do want to work with Steve on anything that we can do to continue outside to measure the see like that. But when it comes to these programs, I want to make sure there's success before we put this. So we're going to try to do that. That's what we're going to try to do.
Very good. Commissioner Cook.
Brian, can you address maybe the commission a little bit on the changes the legislature made several years ago regarding juvenile detention and how that's affected our population? I know that we've had a significant decrease in the number of individuals that do continue to stay at the detention center are really the most high risk, and why this program would be essential to that.
Absolutely, and I believe the Senate bill was 367. I believe that's what it was, but numerous mandates came down of trying to find alternatives to detention for low-risk offenders, and that basically jails and juvenile detention centers, a level 6 facility, which we are to house only those who are true threats to the community who are committing violent crimes. We have, with this initiative, we have seen mandates as far as programming and things like that in the facility, but also they took the funds away to put it in the community, which we're still waiting to see. But we've had a significant decrease in our population of maybe 5 years ago we were running in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Now today we run in the late 20s. Sometimes we've even been as low as 15 or 16. But those individuals there are, as much as I hate to see anybody come to jail, those are the ones that need to be incarcerated because those are the ones who are committing very violent crimes, and that those are the ones that we need to serve.
So this program would help address those needs and trying to get services to those that are at the highest risk?
Absolutely.
I make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0, and I think we'll all be most interested as we go on and see how this program works.
I'll have that information.
All right, thank you, Brian. Next item, please.
Item E3, consider approval of request to advertise and fill one vacant maintenance tech position at a salary including benefits of $43,185 and authorization to fill any vacancy that may occur as a result of filling this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Correction. With the retirement of a long, very good employee that we had at the Department of Corrections, after several years of employment, he has decided to put the tool belt away and enjoy retirement. This is not a new position. This is already a budgeted position in the facility. We have gone without a couple weeks without it, and unfortunately, we haven't had any major big disturbances at the jail or any overtime needed, but if this just stays open, we will end up having overtime, and it will decrease the amount of time we can get things fixed, such as locking mechanisms, things like this. So this is a very valuable position for us. We have the money, it's budgeted, and again, it's not a new position.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Item F, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider out-of-state travel for one employee to attend the National Outdoor Recreation Conference at a cost not to exceed $1,800 with funding from the Parks and Recreation operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Olivia Mayer with Parks and Recreation. The request is to send one employee to the National Outdoor Recreation Conference hosted by the Society of Outdoor Recreation Professionals. It will showcase innovative and creative approaches to outdoor recreation research, planning, and management. The training agreement has been submitted, and the employee will complete a report upon his arrival. Do you have any questions?
Are there any questions for Olivia?
I don't have any. I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item F2, consider authorization and execution of contract C56-2019 with Madman Enterprises LLC, DBA Say Cheese Photo Booth, to provide photo booth services for department programs or events with compensation of $300 for one booth for a 2-hour session or $450 for 2 booths for a 2-hour session.
Good morning, Commissioner. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. This is an independent contract service agreement that we have for several of our programs and special events. We have one coming up, Daddy-Daughter Date Night, and what would Daddy-Daughter Date Night be without photo opportunities? So we're asking for your approval. We use this Say Cheese 2 or 3 times throughout the year for different events. Be glad to answer any questions.
What do you say, Daddy?
I'd say approve.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Next item, please.
Item F3, consider authorization and execution of contract C57-2019 Memorandum of Understanding with Keep America Beautiful for the collaboration in planning of activities throughout the park system.
Morning, Commissioners. Kim Atchison, Volunteer Services Coordinator, Parks and Rec. I have a presentation for you. I just need to, I don't know if this is gonna. Felicia and I, let's see, not sure how this goes. Okay, so up here I have the program statement, Shawnee County Parks and Rec mission. Parks and Rec and Keep America Beautiful both, we both envision a better quality of life for all Shawnee County Parks residents and visitors, and by creating a stronger partnership with KB, we can streamline productivity within Parks and Rec. By expanding our partnership, we can better tackle that litter, continue to beautify our parks, and educate the public about what it means to keep our neighborhoods and parks clean. Also, building a stronger partnership will allow that creation of new programs, build upon existing programs, and create higher recognition programs, and to build stronger volunteer groups. On our next slide, we'll see maybe if it wants to do that. Okay, there it is. You'll see a few of the highlights with some of the KB events, such as Get Down and Get Dirty. That was 766 hours. Tricks, Treats, and Tulips, 39 hours. We also help with our Adopt a Park program by recruiting more people. But Felicia and I with KB, we both discussed 3 of our main goals, which is to aggressively clean the shoreline, Lake Shawnee, with volunteers, along with such like Central Park Pond and other places like that. They do a lot with our, especially in Ted Inslee Gardens as well. And then also we're coming up with some more ideas with park cleanup days as well. But overall, that's what this MOU is for, just to have a better plan, create better goals, stronger goals. That's it.
So this just formalizes the partnership that we've got with KAB, and you think it'll add to the efficiency and effectiveness of the operation?
Correct.
Okay.
When I was reading through it, it looked like it restricted our ability to move quicker. You know, it looked to me like we wanted things way in advance, any events coming up, and it actually seemed like maybe it wasn't streamlining, but slowing the process down or eliminating process. And I certainly don't want to get into a situation where we're turning down volunteers because they come to us, you know, and they want to do an event in 2 weeks, and we say, well, we can't move that fast. And it looked like there were some restrictions in there that that would prevent that from happening. And Just want to know if there's some flexibility in there that allows us to move quickly.
Sure.
Yeah, Commissioner Rippon, yeah, that's not our intention to either slow it down either, but I'd be glad to take a look at that language in there and see if there isn't some kind of addendum or something we can add to that, because, yeah, if somebody wants to show up at 10 o'clock for a 10:30 volunteer efforts, we want to be able to get that person in there and get that done. I don't know the specific language that's of concern to you, but I'd be glad to sit down with you after the meeting and address those.
Okay.
Would you like to defer for a week?
Let's defer for a week.
Okay.
Need a motion for that?
Second.
Yes. Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Rippon to defer consideration of this contract for 1 week, and that was seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Commissioners.
Just noting that puts us on January the 31st. Or sorry, yep. Is that right? Yep. So, February's not over, not here yet.
We squared away on that. Next item, please.
Item G, Facilities Maintenance. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-58-2019 with Dalrymple Consulting.
Dalrymple.
Pardon?
Dalrymple.
That too, what he said. Consulting Inc. for general and post-remodel environmental testing for the Shawnee County Courthouse at a cost not to exceed $3,100 with funding from the Facilities Maintenance operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. This item is to follow up regarding some testing we did 3 years ago, primarily in the Emergency Operations Center in the sub-basement, where we did discover certain hazardous situations. Since that time, we have done some renovation down there and cleaned up some things that we think we want to double check and make sure we've gotten rid of all of the potential hazards that we had down there. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Bill regarding this issue?
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Next item, please.
Item H, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding renewal of an annual subscription with Lexipol for law enforcement policy manual updates at a cost of $21,217 with money from the Sheriff's Forfeiture Fund.
Morning, Commissioners. Caleb Acree, Administrative Captain, Sheriff's Office. I just want to notify you of our intent to renew our annual subscription for Lexipol. This is an annual subscription that we pay for out of our state forfeiture account. A point of clarification, on the agenda had a amount listed as $21,217. The actual amount is $21,317. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, as well as our intent to renew, and I'll stand for any questions that you may have.
Okay. I'll move to acknowledge receipt with the adjusted amount as Captain Acree mentioned.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner, acknowledge receipt by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please. Thank you, Caleb. Good to see you.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for the public or a department head to make public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Inspector of Venue Management, the Kansas Expo Center. We've been busy at work the last couple weeks with 3 hockey games last weekend, a consumer show also last weekend, WWE on Monday night, which performed exceptionally well. We're on pace to beat our budgeted revenues for that event, so very happy about that. Continued into Tuesday with the Kansas Chamber Banquet Dinner. And then just wanted to make everyone aware that today, again, is the Greater Topeka Partnership Luncheon that will be taking place inside Exhibition Hall. We hope you'll be out there to join us. It's a fantastic event that we were able to steal away from another facility, so very happy about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Andy Graham with the Shawnee County Health Department. I'm here to recognize Becky Springer. She has been with the Health Department for 30 years. We both started about the same time. I can remember when I had been there a couple of years and my supervisor at the time said, let's do some cross-training. So we went from what I was doing, and he asked me to go with the daycare providers and see what all they do and look at all the rules and regulations they have. So I'm there in this little room with a little table, and I'm sitting down there, and all of a sudden I get this tug on my shirt, and it's like, who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you here? And then the next one, there's another one that comes up and says, I have to go to the bathroom. And this is the honest truth. He says, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm telling this 6 or 7-year-old, hey, that's over my pay grade. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm looking at all these rules, and it's amazing to me how many rules and regulations there are in all this. Becky started this 30 years ago, and she was a daycare inspector. She's been doing this the whole time. When she was hired, she did not have to have a degree. She took it upon herself to go back, go to college, get a degree. Then she became a supervisor. Of all the employees that I know, of all the people that I know, I do not know of a more dedicated person than Becky Springer. She is awesome at what she does, and she will be at the top of my list when it comes to being able to call her, and she certainly is okay with that. We are having a reception tomorrow from 2:30 to 4:30. We'd like for you to come if you would like to, but I think Becky would like to say something to you also.
Hello. I'm not one to be shy, so if anybody has questions or anything like that, but I would like to say that I appreciate the county. They've really done me well. I appreciate the health department, all the support that I get, and I appreciate your comments that child care licensing is really important. And part of my passion, I guess you'd call it, is for the protection of children. And so anything they can do for support of not only the surveyors for what they do, but for child care providers, center facilities, all of these other facilities, school-age programs, drop-in programs, any of those type of things, any support that you can give to them, obviously I'm for that. Because we want to make this a good team effort to protect the children in Shawnee County.
Thank you for your service and best wishes in retirement.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Cook.
I've served as the chair of a daycare center for the last 15 years, having been on the board for 17. When the inspector comes, there's always a little bit of trepidation. Do we have all the forms filled out correctly? Is everything there? Do we have 2 sets of clothes? Are all the medicines where they're supposed to be? Are all the outlets covered? But Becky and her team has always been very fair and thorough, and that's what we appreciate in Shawnee County, is that it's a fair, thorough evaluation, and it's for the safety of the children and to make us all better. And so it really is with a heartfelt appreciation for all that you've given to the Shawnee County.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. This time I'd like to also announce a new employee too. Tim Laurent is here. He's the new Deputy Director for Shawnee County Parks and Rec. He's continued to come in, and he's now up to 2.5 weeks now. So every night I would go home afraid he wasn't going to come back the next day. But Tim is here. He's about 25 years of experience over with Lawrence Parks and Rec. Not to brag about Lawrence Parks and Rec, but they've been twice runner-up for a NRPA gold medal, and that may be something that we try to pursue too. He's obviously got enough qualifications to get us to second place, but maybe we can get over the top. Maybe we can go for a gold medal someday. But Tim is terrific. He's been running. You may have seen him around. Maybe had a chance to visit with him a little bit. But he brings a great deal of experience and a great deal of business operation side, which is the direction we've been going. With that, I'd turn this over to Tim.
Good morning, Commissioners. As John said, I'm Tim Laurent. Happy to be here. I want to correct John a little bit. We were 3-time runners-up for the gold medal. Yeah, I would love to see us go for that and try to do what we couldn't do in Lawrence. But it's been 3.5 weeks. I've really enjoyed it. A lot of names, a lot of faces. Disappointed I'm not going to get to work with Becky, but I'm really looking forward to working with each of you. And anything that you need from me, please don't hesitate to let me know.
Very good.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Is there anyone else for administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Cook.
Commissioners, this week I had the opportunity to participate in the Topeka Capital Journal webcast, podcast with Tim Rensher regarding the comprehensive plan for Shawnee County. I noticed that when we got done that my little brother had posted, "Go boring, Kevin." So I was happy to report that we did accomplish that. I think so, Tim, right?
Well, even though I was on vacation, I watched, and I won't say it was boring, but we did have a lot of technical difficulties in the presentation. But it was very. You did an excellent job, Commissioner. It was very informative. Commissioner Ripa?
Well, I attended a conference for county commissioner newbies, and it was very, very informative, and appreciate that opportunity. Also, I had to deal with the snowstorm. That was interesting too. I want to thank everybody in emergency management for their help with all that, and their work. And I know they had some late hours the other day, so thank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you. And I think Kellen mentioned it, but I'll reiterate that the Greater Topeka Partnership Annual Luncheon will be today at the Expo Center, and keep stealing all the events that you can, Kellen. I think that's a feather in your cap. So thank you. Next item, please.
6, executive session.
Commissioner Chair.
Yes.
I would move for an executive session for 3 items. The first would be matters related to employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with the representative or representatives of the body or agency, and this is related to the Sheriff's Department. That would be for a period of 5 minutes. The second would be consultation with an attorney for the body or agency, which we deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship. That's related to the Planning Department for a period of 5 minutes. And then finally, personnel matters of non-elected personnel and consultation with an attorney for the body or agency, which we deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship regarding solid waste department, and that would be for a period of 10 minutes. So a total of 20 minutes with no action anticipated. And that's a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to go into executive session for a period not to exceed 20 minutes, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. We're in executive session.
See, I'd really rather have you extend a little bit as opposed to coming back and sitting here twiddling our thumbs for 3 minutes. So it's like, we're good, we're good. Never bothers me if you extend it. Where is Commissioner Rippon? Does he know he's supposed to come back? Go get him, yeah. Well,
Pass that over to Commissioner.
Okay.
Was that just sign one thing?
He's-
We are back from executive session. No action is required, and we're officially adjourned.
Wow.